So welcome everyone to the Team Fit and Natural Team Spark call. Today is January 6th. It's our first call back for the new year. We're really so glad to get back to a regular schedule because we've been very off schedule with the holidays. So from now on, it's every Wednesday going forward. Jen, the only week I was thinking that we're not going to be able to do it is New Leader Conference. I'll be on a plane to California, so not January 20th, right? That Wednesday, January 20th.
Maybe we could do Tuesday that week.
Yeah, maybe we can move it to Tuesday. So we'll let you know about that week, but it definitely won't be Wednesday. So to go over announcements.
Hold on. I have to hijack this call for a minute. I need to give a huge shout out to Charise and her entire team for hitting elite. Guys, amazing job. Way to go. You guys hit Success Club consistently. You hit Diamond, you hit Emerald, you held those ranks, you worked hard. You guys worked as a team and it paid off. You guys are incredible and I'm so happy for each and every one of you. And just keep doing what you're doing because it's amazing and you're helping thousands of people. And you know what? You alone might not think you're doing so much, but Team Fit and Natural together, you guys are doing a fabulous job. And now corporate has recognized that, and that's incredible. So congrats, Charise, elite coach for this year. Super exciting. You worked your butt off, and it all paid off. So I'm done hijacking the call now.
Oh, thank you. I told Jen and some of you, you're going to have to like try and speak because my brain is just shot. Like I cannot think tonight. So I apologize. So Jen is probably going to have to do most of the talking, but I am just so proud of our team. And, you know, Team Fit and Natural and Team Spark did this together. I mean, we've done everything together all year long. Jen is a success partner. Like, this is the power of success partners. This is why we push you guys to try and have a success partner, because you can do amazing things when you have the power of togetherness, and our team is just so awesome, and I'm so thankful. But I don't want to just talk about this. I know you guys all are busy tonight. So to get to our announcements, most important announcements are that the 1 hour live What is Coaching recruitment event is Tuesday, January 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is something that should be a huge push for you. Of course, the way these events work, a lot of times people don't really commit until the last minute, but you want to stay present with it. You want to have it out there. You want to not just invite people on the event invite and think that that's an invite, because we all get tons of event invites on Facebook. They're hard to pay attention to. I miss them myself all the time. So you want to copy and paste the link to the event after you've invited them into a private message, and then follow up with a true invitation there. But when you copy and paste the link, remember the image will populate. It'll be easy for them to click over. It's a much more user-friendly kind of way to invite people. And by getting anybody out of the coach recruitment event, that is by far, did I hit record? Yes, I did, sorry. That is by far the easiest way to grow your team. If you get someone from a coach recruitment event, that is going to be one of the fastest ways you can grow your team, okay? And also remember, like, the soft kind of sell with the coach recruitment event, because we're not just talking about being a coach. We're talking about our challenge groups. We're talking about the power of our challenge groups. We're talking about the power of our team. We're talking about how just doing our challenge groups has changed our lives. So if you have people that are simply thinking about the challenge groups, you want to get them in there. You know, when I ask people to do these events, I say this is a great way to learn about both our challenge groups, if that's something you're considering, and about coaching on our team. So don't make it just one or the other, because we truly talk about both. So that's one of the biggest things. And then also our next challenge group starts January 18th. Right now, Jen's team is running the January 4th bonus group, which some people have participants in, which is awesome. We have January 18th challenge group, January 11th 3-day refresh group. big shout out to Laura Schiller for running that for us once again, our refresh queen. So thank you. What else do we have for announcements? Super Saturday, Super Sunday is this weekend, January 9th and 10th. It's not too late to find an event that is near you. There's usually events nearby on both Saturday and Sunday. Live events are so key. You know, I'm not a rah-rah person, as you guys know by my personality, but there's something about these Beachbody Live events that just provides so much inspiration and training, and it's just, you know, really cool to do a live workout. I know at least the one by me in Boston, you can even just for free go do the live workout and not even go to the rest of it. So even that experience alone, if you have one nearby, is really awesome. So that's Super Saturday, Super Sunday. Jen, am I forgetting anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. So before we get into the 5-step invitation process, I just want to quickly talk about goals because, you know, this is obviously the time to set your goals and your intentions for 2016. And, you know, we talk a lot about SMART goals, and I wanted to kind of go over that because, you know, you don't want to just throw a goal that's not qualified out to the universe. Like, that's not really enough to get where you're going. So if you want to just take notes on this, when you're thinking about your SMART goals, again, SMART is an acronym, and the S stands for specific. So you want to be very clear about what your goals are with the S for specific. And this means that you can have various goals. So you are not creating just one giant goal for the entire year. There can be several goals that are part of the big one. So be specific. The next thing is that you want it to be measurable. So you don't want to just say something like, I want to be the best coach I could be. That's awesome if you want to be the best coach you can be, but that's not something that you can measure and track. So the M for SMART is a goal that is both measurable and trackable. A stands for attainable, and you know, it's good to have goals that push you, but you want to make sure that your goals are realistic. I mean, I kind of err on the side of nearly impossible, but slightly realistic. You want to keep it in the realistic realm. And then relevant, you want to make sure that your goals are exact steps that will help you reach a larger goal, and time bound. Time bound meaning that your goals should have specific deadlines. So, you know, if it's, I want to be a diamond coach, you want to have a certain date down for your diamond coach. And then on your way to diamond coach, it's, I want to have an emerald, an active emerald in each leg by this date. And then if, you know, I want to have a team group for my team, I want to have a team name for my group by the end of the first week that I'm diamond. Like, there are so many specific, measurable, and specific goals that go along with a larger goal. So I want to make sure that everybody is goal setting. And I also want to emphasize, Rachel was on a diamonds call that we had this week with Team Perseverance, our team at large, and a big focus is personal development. Dave was talking about this year as a year for growth, for personal growth. And so he is challenging us, those that are diamond and above, to read 2 personal development books a month for the entire year. So the first one that we're starting with is called The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell. So it's free actually on Audible right now. You guys know we always talk about Audible. You order it through Amazon, you put the free app on your phone. It's free right now to get that book, and it's a great book. So I highly recommend that. Remember, you can listen on your commute, you can listen when you're doing laundry, you can listen as you're falling asleep. That's what I do at night. There's a sleep timer, set it for 15 minutes. That's all you need. But personal development should be a part of every single person's goal setting for this year. And if you need a recommendation for a personal development book, please reach out to one of us. We've read so many, or we've heard of so many at this point, that we can help you tailor it for your goal, because you don't want to just read something and be like, check, I read personal development, but this has nothing to do with the frame of mind that I'm in right now. You want to find the most relevant book for you. So that's a little bit about goal setting. Also, I had shared, did anybody do the vision board training, that vision board party link that I had shared in our team? No, I think that there's a recording. I'll try and pass it along. But creating a vision board is something that is just huge, and keeping it in a place where you're going to see it all the time is so important. For me, this year, I had a vision board. I know Jen had a vision board. And you want to just make sure that you're looking at it, and if you need to revise it, that you revise it. But it's a key way to stay focused throughout the year. And also, I'm going to post in the chat box here 2 resources for you guys to copy and paste. One is a coach action plan. That is a Beachbody document, but it's a really good way to set SMART following that acronym goals. So I would highly, highly suggest that you do that. And for both, let's see, Maureen, Laura, and Kristen that are on this call, all 3 of you are doing the AMP training, right? That starts January 7th. So congratulations to you guys, because that's huge. It's just a small group of 12 people who are going to do this really intense training that we've worked hard on creating. But that coach action plan is actually one of the things that you guys are going to be doing. So it's just going to give you a heads up, to start that now. So I'm going to put that in the chat box, so look for that. And also, Jen reminded me that I did a blog post last year on creating vision boards, which I forgot I even did. So I'm going to put that in the online chat box here as a resource as well while Jen starts talking about inviting. Any questions on any of that? If you guys have any favorite personal development books, or if you're looking for a specific kind of personal development book, feel free to put that in the chat box, and then after we're done covering the next topic, we can talk more specifically about the books.
Charise, can you, because I just looked real quick, the 5 levels of leadership, if anyone wants to read that, I didn't find where it's free on Audibles. It says it's like $14.95. It's not a big deal, but if you have a link where it says free, or
let me look, because I don't know if you saw in the Diamonds group, Shannon and I think it was Erin, they were saying that they got it for free.
Oh, so, maybe because with their membership, because it's like you get the free book when you first sign up. Maybe?
No, I don't think it was that. Like, it was just listed as free. Jen, can you see it right now? Or I'll look for it while you start talking, and then Rachel, I'll put in there what I find in the chat.
I didn't see that. I ordered it on Amazon Prime. But it was only like $7 or $9 on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So
I usually just get everything out of my library. But if I like Audible, so if it's free on Audibles, I'll.
Yeah. So here's how, are you good, Charise?
Yeah, I'm good. You go ahead. I'm going to put things in the
here's how I thought we would attack the 5-step invitation process. Rather than me just going through all of it and you just listening, I want this to be much more interactive. So what I want to do is I'm going to say what the step is, and then I want to talk with you guys. I want to hear struggles you've had with that step. Role play a little, like if you want to say like, well, what happens if they say this? Or I might say that to you guys. Because I think working out the difficult situations that you run into it's going to be helpful for you and for everybody. Because if you find it difficult, I bet everyone did. So I'm going to go over step 1 now, and then I'm going to share my screen because I have the PowerPoint up, and then we'll just unmute everybody, and we can have a little conversation about it. Does that sound good to everybody? Good. All right. Awesome. So let me share my screen. I want this. Hold on, just takes a second. Can you guys see my screen? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. So for the 5-step invitation process, it's really an awesome, awesome tool for you to use. And prior to using it with anybody, you should have been forming a relationship with this person. You just don't want to randomly send out these messages like, hey, you want to join my challenge group? That is cold selling. That is what people hate. You want to make sure you have formed them, you have reached out to them, you have reconnected and built a relationship, find out their hobbies, find out about their families, chat, and then don't even talk about Beachbody. Just really work on the relationship first, and then it naturally comes up. So then once you've established a relationship, then it's an appropriate time to enter step 1, which is the invite. So, this is from the Coach Online Office, the doc that I have up here right here. And they gave a sample invitation message that you can PM, hi, I don't know if this is for you or not, but I'm hoping you could help me. I'm looking for 5 new people who want to get started losing weight over the next, we do 30 days. And I was wondering if you know anyone that might be interested. And the tips here, I think, are really good. Don't overwhelm them with too much information. I think a lot of times we get sort of diarrhea of the mouth, and then that really turns people off because they're like, holy cow, what is going on here? And then I always end with a question. So the tip says, ask if they want to hear more. I usually end with something like, can I tell you a little bit more about this? Or would you like to learn a little more? Or something like that, so that it's a question. When you end with a question, they feel a little more compelled to respond rather than just something like this. So how do you guys feel you are doing with step 1? Do you find it something you struggle with? Do you find it something you feel comfortable with? What are you guys thinking? Oh, you can unmute yourselves. Just click on the little microphone in the corner.
I'm feeling pretty good. It's Kristen. I'm feeling pretty good with this process. Step 1.
Okay,
Definitely.
so step 1, everyone give me a thumbs up if you're feeling comfortable with step 1. Okay, so step 1 we seem to be okay with. All right, awesome. So that's just the general invitation. So don't send more information until you hear back from them. You don't want to keep sending messages and keep sending messages and keep sending messages. If you don't hear back from them, something I do is then go back to form. So then go back to just a friendly conversation. If you see something on their page, let's say they went to dinner at a, hibachi place. Hey, that restaurant looks really good. Where was it? So it's not that you're constantly just talking about Beachbody and the challenge group and do this, do this, do this. So that's a good way to kind of bridge back into that conversation of just being friends. So bridge step 1 to step 2. So many people, this happened to me last night actually, if they ask about price first, everybody wants to know the price first. Do not tell them the price first because you need to tell them all they're going to be getting, and you need to find out their why first of all, and we'll get to that in a minute. But there's so much more information that you need to attain and you need to share before you get to that. And the beauty of doing this through Facebook is that you can sort of avoid that question for a little bit by providing them with information. How about I ask you a few questions and we can go from there to make sure this is right for you. That's something you can definitely do. If they're asking about the price, I usually then also put the video link so they can check out the video. Hey, do you think this feels like something you might like? If they're interested, some people are like, oh my God, yes, I want to join. Let's do it. You still have so much information to share and so much information to get from them. So, they suggest saying something like, great, I'm glad you're interested. Let me ask you a few questions and we can go from there to make sure this is right for you. Taking your time with this is going to prove very useful to you in the long run. It can be a little frustrating sometimes where you're kind of like, let's just do this, but go through each and every step. Oops, let me see, stop share. There we go. Oh, now I can see all. So for this step, because I think this is one that a lot of people kind of glaze over. Do you guys feel like this is something that you are reaching out to the people and really, when you're getting a price, when someone says, how much is it? What are you guys saying? Who's going to be brave? Come on.
Hi, it's Maureen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Maureen. Thank you for being brave.
I avoid the price question like the plague.
Good.
And I usually say, well, it really depends. So let me find out a little bit more about what you're looking for and what kind of things you're interested in. And we can take it from there so I can be more specific for you.
Excellent, excellent. I've said something similar to people. I'll be like, well, we have a variety of different programs based on your needs, so let's chat a little more, and then we can really get down and I can share that information with you. That's a great way to do it. Anybody else? How about Rachel? You have your microphone on.
Me?
Yes, you. What do you do when people say, well, how much is it, Rachel?
I never address the cost until I say, what do you need and what is going to suit you at this time. And then I delve really deep into like what their diet is like.
Okay, good.
Do they like low impact or high impact? So I I don't like, I acknowledge that they asked me, but then I let them know that I'm going to ask them some questions first.
Perfect. Who else has things to share on this? Anybody else have something
If
different?
it's a good friend, it's Laura Schiller. If a lot of, like, some of my best friends ask me for a price,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like as soon as I tell it to them, they just say, okay, great. Like, I don't know. So if it's a really good friend, I tend to just say the price because there's no point of going around it.
Even with really good friends, I won't, obviously you're not PMing them, if you're drinking a glass of wine and chatting about what you're doing, I'd be like, well, it's actually really awesome, all the stuff you get. And I tell them everything that's included, and then be like, and it's actually, it's $140. Like, that's at the tail end.
Right. That's what I do. Yeah. I'll be like, oh, well, it includes this. And then I say, and the price is blah. But I don't like, I feel like they usually ask, if it's a good friend, they usually know the program. So they usually ask, okay, I'm ready for the refresher. I'm ready for 21 Day Fix. How much does it cost? And then it's,
okay. Yeah, and I agree. There are certain people that they're interested, they're serious, their goals because you're so close to them, and it's a little different when you have people like that. I agree with you. Anybody else have anything different that they do?
If they're persistent to me about wanting a price, sometimes I give them a range of, it can be between this and this, depending on your program. And that way they feel like I'm not avoiding their question, but I'm also not answering it. And sometimes I give them a range of like 160 to 180 or 200. And then if their program happens to be on sale for the 140, they're usually happy.
Right.
That it was cheaper than the range I gave them as well. So sometimes I do that.
Exactly. And you don't want to say, like, before what a really, like, sort of a big pitfall is if you're like, oh, well, it's $140, 21 Day Fix, it's on sale. But then after talking to them, maybe that's not the right program for them. And now the program for them is $180. Now you have someone who's aggravated because they're like, wait a second, I don't want to spend $180, I want to spend $140.
Correct. I usually try to wait on giving them a range unless I have some idea what I think is going to work for them. Even if I'm not exactly sure, I might have an idea which direction we're going. And then, I'll send them videos, but the videos are direct links to our website, which they can then look at the prices. So sometimes I feel like if they're really wanting to know, it's best to be upfront rather than making them search for it. And then sometimes if they go searching for it, they get a little overwhelmed.
Yes.
I do tend to give them some sort of a range or an idea even before I send them the video.
Absolutely. And we've already started chatting a little bit about step 2, the interview. And I heard a couple of really good questions. I like what Rachel said, do you like high impact or low impact? Like, I think that's a really good question. I'd like to hear from everyone, like, what kinds of questions do you do to get to know your people, to know what program to recommend? So let me hear some of the questions that you guys are sharing with your prospects.
I just ask them what they've done in the past that they've enjoyed.
Good.
Most people have some sort of exercise program that they've done that they've hated, and one that they've loved, or one that's worked for them in the past. And usually that gives me an idea where to start.
Perfect.
Many people say Zumba or kickboxing, and some of those answers can lead me in the right direction for what I think program's going to work for them.
Perfect. I actually had someone last night who's a elementary school friend's wife who said, I hate all exercise. I have never loved any exercise. I hate it all. But I need to lose the last 20 pounds. I lost 45 pounds on Weight Watchers, and I need to lose the last 20. And I said, well, I've got some news for you. You need to exercise. So she was like, okay, what do you suggest? So I was like, well, do you want some like cardio, or do you want a variety? So that way, so we got down to the 21 Day Fix. Like, that seems it's going to be a good balance for her. But, you do get people who say that, like, I hate it all, and, like, okay, well, if you want to accomplish your what you want to achieve, that's really going to be a problem.
And then I try to find out how much time they have, because that also can make a big difference on which program will work for them. Some people don't have 40 minutes for some of the PIO or some of the longer programs, and other people really love the shorter programs, or really like a really short one like T25, something like that. So that's a big way to help me figure it out too.
Exactly. And in this step, you want to find out why they're doing this. What do you want to do? Why is it you want to lose weight? Why is it you want to exercise? Why are you interested in my group? Like, that's an important key piece of information, because you're going to keep circling back to that throughout the entire challenge group, to the end, even when you're in the coach discussion, if they're like, no, I think I'm going to be okay on my own. No, remember, you want to lose 45 pounds. That's going to take some time, and you're going to need the support. Look, you've already lost 12 pounds this month. Let's keep going, you know? So you need to take note of their why and write it down. Okay, it's very important to keep all through these steps. You need to be taking notes so that way you have it to reference, because people fall off the radar, as we well know, and then they pop up out of nowhere like 3 months later, and then you're like, oh crap, I don't remember what did they want to do and what did they like. But if you have your BAT or whatever form that you use to keep track of things, you can go back and say, oh, here's Kristen. Oh yeah, she likes size. She liked to dance, you know, and then you can really take it from there and continue the conversation rather than starting at square one, because that's going to be insulting to the person, because the person's going to say, I already told you all this. Why are we starting over? You know, you can start with, have your goals changed if there's been a long span of time? Like, what are your current goals? But you should keep track of all of this so that you are really, you know, being a diligent coach and very interested in their journey. Does anybody else have any good questions that they ask when they're interviewing?
I typically just say, I'd love to share more about the challenge group with you, but can you first tell me why you're curious about this and why you're motivated to look into this?
Perfect.
And I just I know you're emphasizing this, but I really want to emphasize too that you just can never skip this step. Like, I don't care if somebody tells you, I am willing to give you whatever amount of money I want to start tomorrow. Do not give them any more information or a link to buy unless you have their why. There is just zero circumstance in a conversation with someone talking about coaching, even for the coach recruitment event, or just becoming a challenger. There's no circumstance where you skip the why. Because if you do, it's like you're a salesperson. It's like you're not taking their life into consideration. You're not reaching out to help them. Working with step 2, I feel like, is your opportunity to show what kind of coach you're going to be. Because remember, like, they can buy Beachbody products anywhere. There's over 400,000 coaches. They can go to beachbody.com. There are all kinds of ways to get Beachbody, but you are the unique offering. And so if you're not showing that you are going to bend over backwards to understand them and to help them and to work with them personally, you need to form that connection. If you don't, it's all lost. It's like, why should they even bother? And I'm losing my train of thought, but I had something else there. The other thing that I do with the why is that I find a way to identify with it. So I always kind of repeat back to them before giving the information in step 3, which Jen is going to get to. I always want them to feel heard, you know, and to feel that we have some kind of connection. So I repeat back to them like, oh, and compliment them also, because people do deserve a compliment for even looking into this with you, because it's a huge step outside of most people's comfort zones to just like have this conversation on Facebook. If they know you really well, then they're being vulnerable about something that they're insecure about, right? And if they don't know you really well, then they're sharing something that makes them feel insecure, probably with a stranger. So you want to say, like, that is so awesome that you are looking into this. Or, wow, as a tired, busy mom with a newborn, I know how frantic life must seem now. You really have to give yourself a pat on the back for even talking to me about this. You know, I hope you're proud of yourself. Something like that. Like, show the power of affirmation and validation from the very beginning of the process. It goes such a long way. And anything you can connect with, like, oh, I remember when I had, you know, my baby and I started this and I was so tired, you know, and it found a way, like, whatever, find a way to connect with them somehow. There's always going to be some point you can connect with them on. Sorry, Jen, go ahead.
No, that's fine. And just to kind of piggyback on that, like, I'll often say, like, you know, if they're like, well, I work full time and I have 4 kids, and I'll be like, oh, you know, I work full time too. And, you know, it's so funny. We have 4 people in our current challenge group who all have 4 or more kids, and they are finding a way to make it work. And I'm so happy they're being so successful. So that way they know there's other people, because if you're not exactly like them, there's other people just like them in our current groups who are succeeding. So, you know, that's another point to, like, make them feel connected and that, okay, hey, I might be able to do this actually. So, okay, so now we're going to move on. Any other questions about the interview? I'm sorry, before I move on. We're good on that? Okay, so then we're going to go on to step 3. Or they had the bridge step 2 to 3, rather. So, they're saying, to say something like this. Well, if you're interviewing them and you're getting good information, they're saying this would be, hold on, I'm just seeing, would have 4 minutes. Oh, this is when you send them the video. So that way, after you've interviewed them, you schedule for them to watch it and a follow-up as soon as possible. And I like that they're saying, what time in the next 24 hours are you available so I can follow up and see what you thought. You want them to have sort of a due date. So that way they're not feeling like, I can watch this sometime. There's no urgency here. But if you say, listen, I have some time, it's Wednesday. How about on Friday morning at 9 o'clock, I reach out to you and I really see what you thought about that video. That might be a good way to kind of make it a little urgent for them to watch it. So you send the videos and hopefully they watch it. And Kristen said, I know a lot of you, the videos from, I have had a lot of trouble from the videos from the back office. People cannot watch them on their phones. So I send the Beachbody, Team Beachbody YouTube links when I know I'm sending it to someone's phone. It's the same video. It just doesn't have a link to our website, but it works, which is a bonus than the ones that have the links to our website, which don't always work on a phone. They'll work on a computer, but not always on a phone.
Jen, sorry, I just want to say, I've been doing that a lot too, just because I feel like they load more quickly and more easily, and it is really helpful, but with the caveat that at this point, pretty much anyone I'm talking to knows I'm a Beachbody coach, right? Like they know what I do. They know this isn't the circumstance where I'm just a friend mentioning the workout that I do. And so if you have not established in some way, if they don't understand that you are a coach, you don't want to just send them a YouTube video, because it's like when you send the thing from your Coach Online office, they understand that this is actually a business for you. They're not going to then just go on Amazon and order it or go on eBay and look for it. Because I feel like, I think it's happened to all of us, right? At some point, it happened to me in the beginning. People don't realize you're a coach. They think you're just like happily sharing, and then you lose them. So that is one way to actually show that you are a coach if it hasn't been established. So use the Coach Online office one if you feel like you're still in that newbie stage and people might not understand what exactly is going on.
Excellent. And also, if you're going to use YouTube ones, make sure you only use the Team Beachbody ones. If you use another coach or another team's video, although they might look cool, usually at the end, there's some kind of link to their team or there's some sort of special offer that they're giving. So then that person is going to watch that and be drifted right away from you because that offer looks really good. So be very cautious about that. Only use Team Beachbody links in YouTube. So then we're going to move on to step 4. So they've watched the video now, you've gotten their feedback, you see what they've thought about it, and now it's time for the follow-up and confirming interest. And this I find is probably one of the hardest areas because this is where you're kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty. So you want to ask, what did you like about the video? How did you come to better understand how our challenge groups work? Does this look like something you're willing to invest in? Or does this look like something you're willing to take a try? Does this look like something you would enjoy? Things like that. That's the first part. You want to get their response to the video. What kinds of questions do you guys ask about the video links that you send?
I just keep it positive and ask what you liked best.
Perfect. Perfect. What you liked best. Not just what did you think. That's way too open.
No.
Open-ended.
Too vague.
What did you like?
Yeah.
I like that. What did you like?
If you say, what did you think? You almost always get a negative answer. It's like they're almost trying to look for something to, maybe, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't want to take this step. I'm going to say something negative. But
exactly.
If I ask them what they liked best about it, I almost always get a positive answer and it gives me something to build on.
Absolutely. Anybody else have anything to share?
I usually just ask if they have any other questions also.
Okay. Anybody else? Those are good questions. So they've told you, wow, that looks like a great video. I think I can do it. That autumn chick looks like she's, in shape, and I think I would like to look like that. That would be awesome. We would all like to look like that. And then you go into explaining the deal. So, this sounds like something you're ready to do. So here's how it works. You enroll with a challenge pack, which comes comes complete with a fitness program, nutrition guide, month of Shakeology, accountability as me as your coach. I also mention here the free 30 days with Beachbody on demand. That's not in the script here, but that's something that I definitely mention. And I say in parentheses, I'll put that's $3,000, more than $3,000 worth of videos you can stream. Sorry, I lost my place. And you get and then 30 days in the group, and you get all of that for an initial investment of whatever it is. I don't always use the word investment, to be very honest with you. But that's the suggested wording, but I personally don't use that word. What I usually do is send what's in it and let them process that for a few minutes, and then give them the price after that. And guess what? It's on sale this month, but I give them the information of what is involved, what they're getting, let them process that, ask them if they have any questions about it. And the question then usually is, well, how much is this? Does anyone have any different ways of sharing, or anything else that when you're sharing, like what the deal is or what it entails, that you want to share with the group, or is it pretty much that?
Sometimes the issue I get in is that people have Googled it or looked it up or asked other people, and they come back and say that they don't think they want the Shakeology. And that usually ends up opening another whole line of discussion if we haven't really talked that much about the details of it, and they don't understand exactly what it is. They think it's just a protein shake, and then sometimes I spend more time on that. So I have noticed that at this point in the conversation, it takes a little turn in that direction sometimes. So.
No, and that's definitely happened to me too. And what I usually send is I'll send the quick Tony Horton video of the supermarket where it shows all the different things.
Right.
And I always mention the bottom of the bag guarantee if they have that concern. And I was like, hey, you know what? There's no risk here. If you do not like this, you can send it back. You're not going to get that offer from many other companies. Right. So, I just had a girl who, she's like, well, I've got a ton of isogenics that I don't want to use anymore, but I'm stuck with them all. But I don't know if I want to try Shakeology because then the same thing. I'm like, no, actually it's not, because if you don't like it, you could send it back. Is isogenics going to take it back? And she's like, no, they're not. And I was like, okay, well, that's how we're different. We stand behind our product. And then I always like to share, if they're concerned about the Shakeology, I share what it's done for me. So the benefits I've gotten, and some of the benefits that my challengers have gotten and things like that, that seems to help. And also I break down the saving, if they just want the program then, as opposed to a challenge group, I'm like, well, then you're going to miss out on the challenge group. And for me, that was the key factor in my success, and it continues to be. I would not have kept this weight off if I did not participate in challenge groups every single month. And I share that with them.
I was also going to say, for this step, this is when, after they watch the video, what I've noticed is when I take it a step further and I said, let's schedule a call, call me after you watch this video, or let's talk tomorrow at 7 p.m. I set a time to talk, because I don't want it to just be over email all the time and Messenger. I want to make it real for them. Sure. So even something like a little audio message to them, you can send little audio messages over Messenger, or a few times I've actually made a video of myself talking to them and sent them that, or I schedule a call, because I feel like people are so inundated with messages for offers between Facebook people and acquaintances, that if you could set yourself apart a little and personalize it a little more, I think that makes you stand out. And it shows that you're, I just had someone buy a refresh pack who had a lot of questions, and I just scheduled a call with her, and it was 2 days of an hour-long call, each answering all her calls, but she ended up getting the refresh and Shakeology because she felt like she knew what she was buying. There was no question. And even going into the challenge pack, knowing that it is going to charge them every 30 days, you're getting a free, or not a free, but you're getting the 30-day bag with it, but then every day at this, the same day every month, you're going to be charged. A lot of people don't know that going in. And then I said, if you don't love it, set a reminder so you could cancel it. I'm completely transparent about that, because I don't want them to ever, when I first started, a few times they called and they're like, I didn't know I was getting billed for this every month. But if you tell them, if you don't love it, then it puts the onus on them. Same with Beachbody On Demand. If you don't want to continue, then within 30 days, cancel. Or I'll set a reminder for you, I'll say. Just so there's no surprises and there's no like weirdness, you know?
Absolutely. Those are all really good tips, Rachel. Really, really good. Anybody else have anything else?
I just want to say, and the great thing about that again is like you are displaying what kind of coach you are going to be. You know, like that sets you apart. You're not just selling the product. That's showing exactly the kind of coach, someone who's going to give you tons of information, who will take the time, who's not just copying and pasting. Like people, you know, as much as we encourage that for efficiency's sake, people can tell when you're just copying and pasting things. You know, so to send a little voice message, like Rachel said, that takes 2 seconds, or a quick video, or actually pick up the phone, it just really does set you apart. So I think that's awesome.
I have a question with something like what Rachel said. Does everyone, when they're Shakeology for a customer, if the Shakeology is about to be reordered, resend you, notify them to tell them to? Because I've been doing that, but now I feel like it's been like with so many customers, it's like every day I'm like logging in and having to tell like 4 people like, oh, in 3 days your Shakeology is going to be resent. Do you want to delay it, or do you want to do this or whatever?
You know, if you can look at your customers for like the past month, and then say like, kind of group them like, okay, in the next 2 weeks, these 3 people are all going to hit their 30-day mark. Pick one day and contact all of them. Even if it's 10 days in advance, that's fine.
Yeah.
So then you spend, a half an hour contacting the 3 of them in one clip. Send the messages out, let them know the options. You may have to talk about the coach opportunity sooner rather than later if they've ordered really early.
Right.
But that's how I would accomplish it, because I agree that would be really annoying to have to keep scheduling it in, over and over and over.
Yeah.
I have like a dry erase board on my wall, and I'll put my challengers, and next to it I put the date that they ordered, so that way it's staring at me, and I know that I have to do something.
I feel like when they order the challenge pack from you and you tell them it's going to be auto shipped every month, and I ask them, do you want me to set a reminder? And if they say no, don't worry, I'm going to put it in my calendar, or no, like don't worry, like I let them sort of decide at that point, and then I don't worry about it. If they don't, or unless they tell me they want me to schedule a reminder, then I'll remind them a few days before.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I don't know.
The only negative to that is if they ordered early, and you want to tell them about the opportunity to save 25%. And then, they said, no, I've got it. I'll put the reminder. No big deal. And then comes the video that says, do you want to be a coach? And you can now save 25% on all future orders. And the person's going to go, what?
Yeah.
But I didn't save 25%. That's not cool.
Yeah. Cause I can't put the discount on retroactively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I do it. I understand what you're saying, but that would be my one fear with that.
Yeah.
I'm a person who likes a discount. So if I missed out on a discount, I'd be a little upset.
Yeah.
So any other questions on that step, or are we good? Okay. So let's see. All right. So now we are moving on to step 5, which is the best part. They've said they're interested and they want to enroll, which is great. Then you want to get them started. You want to talk them through step by step the enrollment process. I use the links that give you the link directly to the product rather than sending them, directions to go through my website, click here, click here, click here. That's very confusing. People get lost and end up all sorts of places, and they get frustrated and they send you messages like, this isn't working and this is ridiculous that this is so hard to order. But when you use the links that are just predetermined for each item. Do you guys know about those links? The Simple Coach links? Yes? Okay, good. So if you just give them like the direct link for 21-day fix challenge pack, boom, they click on it, right to your website, right to the place where they can order. Fabulous. Done. I do tell them about the Beachbody On Demand, and if they are not interested in it, there is a box they can uncheck, so they do not get the free trial. I have had some people who say, the internet stinks around my house, and, I will never use that. And that's something, then I'll tell them how to undo that. So that's that's really the only thing after and I say, please let me know when you've placed your order so I can track it for you. When they say they've ordered, I look in the previous view and make sure everything is okay with their order. people do all sorts of crazy things when they're placing orders. And if you catch it right away, they can make adjustments. If time goes by, they cannot, customer service can't really do anything. Then they're going to say, no, it's already in the warehouse. They've got to get the order, send it back. And that's just a frustrating process. So then once they get in, then, once it's done, it's sold, then you really are waiting for it to arrive. I keep them updated on the shipping and keep them updated on the group. Okay, your group is going to be starting in 8 days or whatever it is, and, get them ready. I send them a couple of recipes from the program they're going to be doing from the Beachbody blog. So that way, hey, this might be something, what kind of foods do you like? Do you like chicken? Do you like fish? Like pasta? What do you like? And I'll send them a couple recipes just to kind of get them started. Why don't you try a couple of these out this week and see what you think, And people seem to like that. So what do you guys do during the enrollment process that makes it more personable, that makes it more easy, easy flowing, or helps it to be accomplished more efficiently?
I feel like a lot of my customers are my mom's friends, and they all just give me their credit card, so I have to do it for them. So that makes it more personal, but they're not, on the internet and everything like that. So it's good for, orders, but they're obviously not interested in, the challenge groups or things like that. But they
makes the order process easy.
I usually don't mess it up. Yeah.
I'm sure you do a very good job. I'm pretty confident you can do it, Laura. Anybody else have any tips about the process of them ordering? Okay, make sure you always check that the order went through, because there are people who sign up for the free account and they think their order is done. So all sorts of things happen, like I said, and you really want to make sure that they are, truly purchasing the product and set and ready for them to be getting the challenge pack and be ready. This is where we hit most, the step 4 after you tell them the price is where we hit most of our objections, because now they're like teetering back and forth. Oh, I don't know if I should do this, the cost. When people really go against the cost, I always go back to the why. And then what I like to do is break it down to a daily cost. I find people find that more tolerable, if I say, oh, it's only going to be about $4 or $5 a day. So, right now you're telling me you're eating a lot of fast food, you're going to Dunkin' Donuts every day, that's got to be costing $15 to $20 a day if you're eating lunch plus breakfast out. So this is a lot cheaper than that, and it includes one of your meals with the Shakeology. So I find that a very helpful way to present it, and people are like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. So that's been something I've had success with. Have anybody else run into objections that you have, like sort of a go-to thing to say that's very successful for you?
I think it's important to list out everything that comes with the challenge pack really, really specifically. Yep. So you want to say, like, you're getting the entire 21-day fix DVD program. You're getting a bonus workout DVD. You're getting a 30-day supply of Shakeology, which replaces one of your meals each day. You're getting the color-coded portion control containers. You're getting the entire nutrition program that tells you exactly what to eat when. You're getting the free 30-day trial of Beachbody On Demand, and that gives you access to several hundred workout programs, blah, blah, blah. Then I, talk about that for a minute. You're getting the free Shakeology shaker cup. I mean, like, I don't leave a single thing unturned. Every single thing has to be listed out so they really understand the value of what they're getting. And of course, and don't forget about the challenge group. And of course, the value of the challenge group, the support and motivation of the team, and me as your personal coach who will hold your hand through this entire process. You never know what's going to be the thing that like really grabs people, and you don't want to skip any of that.
Mm-hmm. And bullet point, when Charise said she lists everything, bullet points. You don't want to put that all in a paragraph, because then that's like, ooh, overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. Like dash, really, dash, that.
I'm a bullet point kind of girl.
Right.
So I like it to be really clearly, stated what I'm getting, what I'm giving. So anybody else have anything they want to share about objection handling that they have had success with?
I don't know, like, of course we all get objections, but I get a lot of like delays. Like, I'm not ready this month, I'm ready next month, I'm moving this month, whatever. I think when that happens, I think it's important not to push people, and I just put them on a list for that timing that they're giving me that they think they'll be ready. And I make sure that even before that point, I'm getting back in touch with them. So if you're telling me, February, I'll be moved into my house, then maybe a week before February, I'm reforming with them and, getting back in touch with them. So I don't get very many people that tell me absolutely not. And I've had lots of people tell me money objections who ended up buying. So, I think I've figured out a little bit how to get around some of those. And I love the idea of breaking it down to daily. I do that a lot with the Shakeology and tell people, it's so and so such amount a day. And if you're using that in place of breakfast, or a lot of people will say, yeah, but it's expensive to eat healthy like that. I try to explain to them that, when you're eating healthy, that means you're not eating out usually, and you're not eating fast food. So if you don't have those costs because you're eating in your home or preparing your own food, for me, I've learned it's almost evens out. Maybe a little bit more it's more at the grocery store, but I'm spending a lot less on my debit card as far as fast food and going out. So I try to put it back to my experience as far as how it impacted me and what I made changes, and that it was worth it for me. And I'm still doing it now 6 months later. I never went back to old habits. And sometimes that makes them think, oh, well, yeah, she used to eat like I eat, and now she's still not. She really made the lifestyle change. So that helps me a lot with the money objections as far as eating healthy is more expensive.
Very good point. And keep a list of all your money objection people, because those are the perfect people to invite to a coach sneak peek. Because if they are having a hard time paying for it, then, that's a great way. Hey, this can be a business opportunity for you. So that way you can earn enough. So that way you're not having to pay for it because you're making enough money to cover it.
And a free group. And a free group. If we do, a free 7-day group, they're perfect people to put on that list too.
Yes, exactly. Because then they get a taste of what a group is like and the resources that are shared, because some of them are not they're not really hardship. They're just, that's what they say because they don't want to do it.
It's an excuse.
Right.
It's an excuse.
Some people truly can't afford it, and I totally get that. But some people, it's just a way to make you stop talking. So
when I get the money objection, I always say, oh, I totally understand. Do you think this is something you'd like to save for? And then if they're like, yes, definitely. And then I say, oh, so when do you think would be a realistic time that you'd be able to make this happen? And usually people then give a time frame. And the other thing, Kristen, when people have, kind of put you off a little bit, I have them on a separate list to make sure I'm just liking and commenting on everything that they're doing on Facebook, because then that's going to make all of my stuff show up more, so they kind of can't forget about me. So no, I'm not bothering them on private message, but I'm staying very visible and I'm staying very present. And I think that's even more important sometimes than sending a ton of follow-up messages, because you don't want to bother people. You don't want to be annoying, but you do want to be present and memorable.
Right.
Absolutely. Questions? Anyone have any other questions or things they want to share about the invitation process?
I don't know if this is relevant, but something I found that has gotten it's been successful so far, but at the end of my challenge group, I just have a family and friends week. So it's like a free bod week at the very end. And I just have everyone invite someone, and everyone is so comfortable doing that because they're inviting mostly siblings, like a sister, or they're so comfortable. It's not a sales pitch. It's hey, this is what my challenge group is all about. This is what I'm doing. And then all those people are now signing up to bod. So it's all of a sudden this free bod week, but it's a real immersion in the challenge group. So that has seemed to work. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people end up buying challenge packs who are doing it because I've gotten good feedback. It's just something I did this month.
No, I like that.
So watching that, Rachel, I thought that was really awesome. And it seemed like, I love that it was great for the new people coming in, but it was also great for the coaches in your group, because it basically was giving them confidence to invite, and to share with other people where, they may feel really hesitant. So I was watching that and I thought that was awesome. And I was going to bring that up to the other captains. I wanted to see like what you got out of it, so we could.
Yeah, I kind of want to see
if
it's going to be successful. It seems like a good idea, but I mean, like, who knows? But I know people are signing up for like the free bot accounts because of it. So I think that in itself is great because that like 9 times
Are
out
you
of 10
putting
will lead
them?
to some sort of.
Are you putting them in a current group? Or are you making a separate group?
Yes, no, I'm putting them in the current group. So like my first week it's just the regular group. And then the second week is motivation. Third week is food. And then fourth week, I always change it up. I'm really creative with the fourth week. Like last month, it was holiday themed. Sometimes it's a gratitude journal. Sometimes it's very free flowing, and like most of the people in my group know that, and it's fun. No one knows what to expect. Sometimes it's like push, but this time I just had this idea to like do like a show and tell with family and friends. So it seems popular. So basically it's within the fourth week of the challenge group I'm running.
So everybody invites a friend for the last week.
Yep.
Yeah, friend or family member. And then it gives everyone, because I have so many coaches who aren't working the business, who don't feel comfortable like pitching a friend or family member to like buy a challenge pack. But it's so much easier to be like, hey, this is what I do all the time that I'm telling you about. Like, just do it and like see what you think.
And they don't have a program yet.
Cool.
But they don't have a program
yet. No, they're just doing it like for free, and then they're signing up for like a free Beachbody on Demand account
I see.
through that coach.
So they can
then
use
they're getting
the
access.
Beachbody on, right, they can do the Beachbody on Demand workout. So it's just kind of neat too,
but
because that gives them an
awesome, because
idea
it's like,
of which one they might want to buy. I like that.
Great. And you can also even.
And they're in an established group, that has like a dynamic and a flow and interaction. So it's not like a 1 week sign of thrown together, like not that, but it's like an established group of people. So
I think
I'll let you guys know how it goes if it converts.
Yeah, one of the other cool things is that how in week 4, like everybody starts to lag a little bit in the challenge groups. I do it myself. I'm always the least consistent in the 4th week. It's just when you have a friend in there, suddenly there's like a renewed motivation. It's helping support coaches step up. Like I see so much potential for this. So I really do.
Yeah, I mean, and I even looked and I was like, I mean, I think we were at like 18 people. Now we're at like 26 or something. I don't know, something. It's definitely jumped. So I think, I'm excited to see like how many people, and I think it's just cool. Like there's a lot of siblings like Renee and Rose. Like Rose is someone, she's actually one of Charise's coaches. I have like 2 of Charise's coaches who have just been placed in my group from months ago, and they've just kind of, it's basically, I feel like I have the same groups now every month, with the addition of new challengers. But it's cool to see like some of the shyer coaches who have never expressed interest in working the business be so excited to have someone come in, and that's like all it is sharing. And it's that like excitement to share that's, could make the difference between someone who's working it and someone who's not,
Absolutely. Rachel, did you make a video post or a written post about this?
No, it just was like a random idea, and I feel like so comfortable in my groups, and they sort of know the 4th week is loose. So like, so I just threw up a picture that I found online of like friends and family. So it just had like all these people, and I was like, hey, let's do a show and tell, and just like everyone invite a friend. I can share it. I mean, like it's super simple, and it was so casual and so like off the cuff. I didn't give like formal instructions of how to invite. I just posted on the team page like how to, I had like a JPEG of like all the body BOD, the Beachbody on Demand workouts, like that little screenshot of the menu. And then I just put like how to change your last 6 digits.
Okay.
So that the link. Yeah.
Oh, I like
So
that.
the people are signing up underneath their family member then, not underneath you.
Not under me.
So how are you able to check that?
Well, I mean, like, it's not like something I check necessarily. It's just like if you're a non-working coach, you still have access to your account. You have a coach ID. Mm-hmm. So like there was like one new challenger in my group this month who wants to invite someone, and she's not a coach yet. She hasn't been converted to a coach. Mm-hmm. So she is going to use Renee's, and then if that if she does become a coach, then, and that friend she brought in buys something, they'll change it over to her, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Great.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Me too.
We'll talk after, Kristen. We're in week 4 now.
Yeah. But I'm doing a bonus week for my
that's
week.
right.
So I thought this is actually perfect for my 5th week, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a good idea.
That's perfect. So, all right, awesome. Does anybody else have any fabulous ideas they want to share? Because I like that. Anybody else?
My brain's not developing.
Yeah, you're done. You're elite.
Yeah.
That's it.
But
You need to do that.
I
You
just
haven't
wanted
slept
to-
in 6 months.
in a year, in 5 years. I just wanted to say, make sure to copy and paste the stuff that I put in the online chat box. That's the coach action plan. If you haven't done it, the vision board post, and whatever else I said, whatever else is in there, you can copy and paste before we hang up. All right, guys. Well, thank you for the time. It's getting super late, so we can end here. But yeah, that coach action plan, if you guys can submit it to your coach or your to one of us, we'd love to help you through it. All right, good night.
Good night, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.